Alright guys, so what we have here is a Electronic Gaming Monthly, pretty big issue, October 1999. This would have come out and shipped to your house in September of 99. The same month the Dreamcast, the Sega Dreamcast launched. So on the front cover, you see Spider-Man. I believe they got over 40 reviews, 20 Dreamcast games reviewed, Spider-Man exclusive info, the game, the movie, the TV show, games inside, WrestleMania 2000, Planet of the Apes, Strider 2, Seaman, Toy Story 2, Legend of Mana, Chrono Cross, Castlevania Special Edition, Twisted Metal 4, GTA 2, Star Trek, Rainbow Six, Jet Force Gemini, Zelda Gaiden. How will you connect your Dreamcast to the net on page 38? Interesting. Alright, so we got a full, pretty big spread here for Tomb Raider, the last revelation. Here's a 2-page ad for Gauntlet Legends. Came out on the 64, PlayStation, Dreamcast as well. Two-page ad for Xena Warrior Princess. There's an ad for Trick Style, which was kind of like a hoverboard slash skateboard type game, but futuristic, so more like a hoverboard. But I did pick that up for the Dreamcast, and wasn't a big fan. I thought it was a very pretty game, though. Definitely showed off of a good amount of power of the Sega Dreamcast. Even non-believers like it, apparently. The Dreamcast is pulling people into games the way special effects get butts and seats in movie theaters. Two-page spread for Jet Force Gemini. I did pick this up at its launch for the Nintendo 64, or the Jet Force Gemini launch when it was released on the Nintendo 64. I still actually have it complete in box. Are you a user? Tron returns to the big screen in the new millennium. Swing King. Spidey's swinging back to the video game scene in an Activision adventure game that's still deep in the works. Oh, and is Spidey strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Seaman for the Dreamcast. We know it sounds bad, but it sure is fun to play with. And Final Fantasy VIII. Here's an ad for Sonic Adventure. Sonic has a new Lightspeed Dash. Let's see. What game is this? Tiny Tank for the PlayStation. Here's a two-page spread for Tony Hawk Pro Skater. This game was absolutely revolutionary when it came out. Just took skateboarding games to a whole new level. NFL Game Day. Letters to the editors. Dreamcast in the game? Question mark. This person says, letter of the month. So this person says, as all may have noticed, there seems to be a large void in American Dreamcast development community at the moment. That void is left by Electronic Arts. Although they were never known to support any new console at launch, this time the situation seems a bit odd. With all the excitement surrounding the Dreamcast and the truckload of developers already signed on, you would think EA would have signed on already for a piece of the pie, but no. They'd rather sit back and see how the Dreamcast fares before they risk supporting the young console. Wow. In a recent interview, EA executive stated bluntly that they aren't supporting the Dreamcast because Sega didn't opt to go with the 3DFX. Yet, EA has already announced support for PlayStation 2000, which we all know became the PlayStation 2. I don't know about you, but I don't think the PS2K has a 3DFX chip inside. I think EA announcing support for Sony's new machine is equivalent to them saying to Sega, since you're dumping the 3DFX like that, we're going to support Sony's new machine instead of yours. Kind of childish, don't you think? Even if Dreamcast did support a 3DFX chip inside, it would be less powerful than it currently is. Who knows what games like Soul Calibur would have looked like with 3DFX chips inside. It probably would have looked identical to the arcade version instead of better. I thus stand behind Sega's decision to go with the more superior Power VR 2DC. Wow. And it goes on to talk about EA and Sega's issues there. The response is, I'm not sure if the politics are quite as convoluted as you suspect. Looking back, EA has never been around at a system launch, and with good reason. EA Sports titles cost a lot to produce, and it's only worth putting them into development once there's a sufficient user base to buy enough copies that will pay for that huge cost. A little fashion here. Back in 1999, baggy clothes were the thing. Fighting Force 2. Let's see. Cheap machines. I know Dreamcast costs around $200, but I've also heard, I think I might have read this in EGM, that Sony will lower the price of the PlayStation to $99 around the time the Dreamcast is released. Is this true? If it is, then will Sega lower the price of their Dream Machine anytime soon to compete with Sony? And EGM says, as we go to press, nothing has been announced, but with the introduction of the new stripped-down PlayStation, the little guy, a price drop seems very likely, and the timing is obvious. Also, expect to see a price drop for the Nintendo 64 around the same time. $99 for either is a bargain. There's a Soul Calibur ad, which I think we have a piece of the ad missing out of this magazine here. Sarge's Heroes for the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation, Army Men. 2-page ad for Star Ocean, the second story for the PlayStation. Sega and AT&T get connected. This goes on to talk about the Dreamcast internet connectivity. Neutron to hit theaters. Duke Nukem 0 Hour. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Definitely bought that game before the movie came out. Latest on the PlayStation 2, no modem. That's right. PlayStation 2 did not launch with a modem like the Dreamcast did a year prior. So let's see. Nintendo released a Tommy Hilfiger Game Boy Championship Motocross. Test Drive 5, definitely had that game. It's an early GameStop ad. GameStop!.com. GameStop eventually took over FuncoLand. Or FuncoLand became GameStop, I'm not sure. But, oh yeah, Babbage's and software, etc. So GameStop was just eating them all up. I'm not sure if Babbage's and software combined to make GameStop, but I know GameStop took over FuncoLand. NHL Championship 2000, that was a fun hockey game. I did buy that at that game's launch. Here's a ad for Ready to Rumble. Japan's top 10. Top 10 selling, top 20 best-selling games of June 1999. Number 1 is Pokemon Blue version. Number 2 is Pokemon Red version for the Game Boys, of course. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. That was very popular. Number 4 was Super Smash Brothers. Number 5, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. Wow, which came out on the Game Boy. I do remember when that came out. Number 6 was Pokemon Pinball. 7, Lunar Silver Star Story for the PlayStation. Number 8, funny as it sounds, was the awful Superman for the Nintendo 64. Number 9 was Siphon Filter, PlayStation. Number 10, WWF Warzone for the PlayStation. Number 11, Mario Party for the N64. Number 12, Triple Play 2000 for the PlayStation. 13 was R4, Ridge Racer Type 4, PlayStation. Number 14, Rugrats the Movie for Game Boy. 15 was Need for Speed High Stakes, PlayStation. MLB 2000, PlayStation. Star Ocean, The Second Story, PlayStation. GoldenEye 007 still hitting the charts here at number 18 for the N64. 19, Namco Museum Volume 1, PlayStation. And 20 was Bloody Roar 2, PlayStation. We got some coming soon, an entire list here. An ad for GTA 2, which was still the top-down visuals. Revolt came out on a variety of consoles. Final Fantasy VIII, which launched on 9/9/99, just like the Dreamcast. Wu-Tang Shaolin Style, no thank you. There's an ad for an Atlas game, Tail Concerto. Top 5 preview picks: Zelda Gaiden, Legend of Mana, Seaman, Grandia, and Strider 2. Here's a 2-page ad for Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Here's an ad for NFL 2K, which was, again, another revolutionary game. Here's a preview for Trick Style. Preview for Slave Zero. Ad for Tokyo Extreme Racer. Very pretty game. Nighttime driving in Japan. Very pretty visuals for the Dreamcast. Speed Devils. That was a fun game. I enjoyed that. Back for More. November 99. Blue Stinger. Wait. This is an ad here. It says back for more, November 1999. It has nothing to do with Blue Stinger. So this is a one-page ad by Acclaim. No, it's a Turok, so it's black, but it's for the upcoming Turok game. It's kind of bizarre. It would just be a black a black page here, and very, very tiny print at the bottom. It says Turok. You can see it with the copyright and everything. But if you didn't look down there, you would just be like, what is this about? This could be for this game, which was already out. Blue Stinger for the Dreamcast. Didn't get very far in that game, but thought it was kind of pretty when it first came out. House of the Dead 2 for the Dreamcast. Project Seaman, which ended up just being called Seaman. It did come with the attachment for the microphone that plugged right into your controller, so you can then talk to your little fish thing that you develop, you grow in the game. I actually have that in pretty good condition. Let's see, more Dreamcast previews. Got some Rainbow Six action here. Let's see, Deadly Pursuit, Planet of the Apes, Air Force Delta. I don't think, it says Dreamcast Croc, but I don't think Croc ever came out for the Dreamcast, so. Dronez, I don't know what that is. Castlevania Resurrection, which never released. Final F1 World Grand Prix, that did. Dead or Alive 2, Fantastic Fighter, Poppin' Music, Dancing Blade, I don't know what that is. Arrow Wings was meh for the Dreamcast launch title. MDK 2, that came out on the Sega Dreamcast as well. It's a good exclusive, actually. Mortal Kombat Gold, terrible Dreamcast game. Pretty much a port of Mortal Kombat 4. Didn't hold a candle to the likes of the fluidity and the graphical prowess of the Soul Calibur game that also launched on the Sega Dreamcast. WrestleMania 2000, fantastic wrestling game for the N64. It's a preview here. Memorable game there. NFL Quarterback Club 2000 for N64. Final Fantasy 8, again, there's an ad for that, for the strategy guide. Sprocket, I don't know really too much about that Nintendo 64 game. Goemon's Great Adventure. It's a little ad here. Little guy in the hot tub with all the ladies. NASCAR 2000 ad. Here's a insert for Electronics Boutique, $100, new low price. They were right. Nintendo 64 and Sony PlayStation, $99.99. All September long. Trade in your old games and get store credit of at least $15 for each N64 game and $10 for each PlayStation game towards the purchase of any product in the store. That's pretty good. I mean, some titles are excluded. Boxes and instructions are required. No two identical titles can be presented. No dealers, please. Destruction Derby 64. There's another ad for, there's a couple ads here for EB World, which was Electronics Boutique before they got bought out by GameStop, probably like 2005, 2006. Look at some of these prices. Here's your $199 Sega Dreamcast. I wish I can get this box. Let's say the Sega Dreamcast box. I have 3 Dreamcasts, but I don't have one of the original boxes. I would love to get one of them. And then your new New low prices of $100 for the 64 and PlayStation. Ape Escape, Game Day, NFL Extreme 2, NHL Face-Off 2000 with John LeClaire on the cover. Jet Moto 3, Gran Turismo 2, $40. A lot of these first-party titles are $40. PlayStation controllers, $30. Yeah, that's what I miss about the CD games for the PlayStation. They were $30 to up to $50. But when you get it to the Nintendo 64 games, you're looking at $50, $60, $50, $60 again. So the cartridge games, for obvious reasons, were more expensive. It's $50. New low price for Zelda. There's Pokemon Yellow for $30. $60 for Donkey Kong 64. Excuse me, you got $50 Dreamcast launch games. Armed Marines Project Swarm, I bought that for the 64 back in the day. Toy Story 2. Lego Racers. It's kind of like a kart game for the 64 and PlayStation, apparently. Knockout Kings 2000 for the 64 preview. Now, Zelda Gaiden, what did that end up being? Zelda... Yes, they're here. I'm sorry. Yes, here they are, folks. The very first screens of Zelda Gaiden, the tentative title of next year's Zelda Ocarina of Time spin-off from Nintendo. Okay, so this is Majora's Mask. Okay. NBA Jam 2000, Live 2000, Castlevania Special Edition. Konami's Castlevania Special Edition uses the same engine as the original N64 game, but takes place... okay, so that was a sequel to... or not sequel, but I guess the updated version of Castlevania 64. Essentially, Jet Force Gemini. Madden NFL 2000, Mario Party 2, Mother 3, never released over here. Super Robot Wars. Hybrid Heaven N64 game ad here. Army Men Air Attack. And Sarge's Heroes again. Rising Sun. I don't know too much about this game for the PlayStation. Road Rash 64. Legend of Mana. PlayStation preview. A 2-page spread, or is there more actually? Nope, 2-page spread. Chrono Cross, 2-page spread of a preview here. Grandia. G-Police, the sequel, which is called Weapons of Justice for the PlayStation. So I guess this is a whole preview for The Last Revelation. And Fighting Force 2. What if this is an ad? Support Designs. Fear Factor. Another game by Eidos. Legacy of Kain Soul Revere. I remember picking that up at launch. That was very much hyped. Very good game. Die Hard Trilogy 2. Definitely picked that up for PlayStation. He's goofy. Look at his goofy controller. Oh my goodness, I guess that's for the 64. NCAA Game Breaker 2000. Monster Rancher 2 preview for the PlayStation. NFL Blitz 2000. Love the NFL Blitz franchise. That was just a fun game to play with some friends. Just it's just a blast. Nonsense. No refs, no rules, no mercy. Fighting Force 2 preview. Rainbow Six, the first Rainbow Six for the PlayStation preview again. Chocobo Racing for PlayStation. 2-page ad for the NFL Quarterback Club 2000 with Brett Favre, always on the cover. Wipeout 3 ad, Fear Factor, preview. And some more previews, Twisted Metal 4, NBA Live 2000, Quake 2, Star Trek, and GTA 2. More previews, the X-Files, FIFA. A whole page ripped out. I'm not sure what this was for. We have to find out what that ad would have been. Formula 199, MTV Snowboarding, Test Drive Off-Road 3. Intellivision Classics, Cyber Tiger, Scrabble, Breath of Fire 4, and tons of previews. I mean, these magazines were your internet. You guys know by now, this was how you got your video game information. There was no other way, really. I mean, you did have the internet, but the majority of your news came from here. A lot of stuff wasn't put on the internet right away. It was put in print. One, to keep these sales going. All Stars Tennis 99. I don't know if that ever released. I have to look into that. Yeah, this whole thing right here. All Star Tennis 99. Well, I guess it was. Was it? It just looks like the text for Sony first party, like Game Day, Game Breaker, first party sports games. All Star Tennis 99. I'll have to look into that. I'm curious. Asteroid 64. WCW Mayhem is bad. Goldberg tossing Ric Flair around. Some Game Boy previews, WrestleMania 2000, Carmageddon, Jet Moto 3 ad. Working Designs ad for Silhouette Mirage. Another one for Lunar, Silver Story Complete. 2-page ad for Battle Tanks, Global Assault. Here's the cover story here. They're in here talking about the Spider-Man game. TNN Hardcore Heat, Dreamcast. Resident Evil 3, It's in Your Blood. November 1999. There's some more Spider-Man. There's Paperboy. This Paperboy 64? Yeah, this is an ad for Paperboy 64. Destruction Derby 64. More talk about the Spider-Man Bass Hunter 64. Here's an ad for NHL 2000. Loved our NHL games. Me and my brothers would play them a lot. This is a interesting grudge match here. You have PlayStation launch game versus Dreamcast launch game. Battle Arena Toshinden back in '95 versus the Soul Calibur. Review scores for at launch for Battle Arena Toshinden versus the review scores for Soul Calibur, which were straight 10s. And then, of course, you can see, and the winner is Toshinden helped the PlayStation get noticed, but Soul Calibur pushes the Dreamcast harder than any other launch game for any system ever. Very nice. Demolition Racer. There's some accessories. Shock and Rock for the Game Boy. Here's some reviews. Air Force Delta gets a 6, a 5, a 6, a 5.5. Blue Stinger 4.5, 4, 4, 4.5. It wasn't very good. These are Dreamcast launch games. Hydro Thunder 7.5, 8.0, 7.5, 7.0. That one's a little bit more average. Let's see here. Marvel vs. Capcom 8, 8, 8, 7.5. I probably would have made them a little higher. NFL 2K, these should have, in my opinion, this was a 9.5 game. They gave it 8.0, 8.0, 7.0, 9.0. Power Stone, again, another 9.5 game. They gave it an 8.0, 6.5, 7.5, 8.0 for Power Stone for the Dreamcast. Are you kidding me? More Dreamcast reviews. Ready to Rumble 9, 9, 8.0, 9. Not bad there. Sonic Adventure. This is rightfully so. 9.5, 9, 9.5, 8.5. And of course, the game of the month, Soul Calibur 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Dune 2000 for the PlayStation. More Dreamcast reviews. Speed Devil 7.5, 6.5, 6.5, 8.0. TNN Motorsports Hardcore Heat 3.5, 4.5, 4.0, 4.0. I would agree with that. Arrow Wings 6.0. I would agree. Expendable 7.5. I think that should be lower. More Dreamcast reviews. Flag to Flag 6.0. Sounds about right. Mortal Kombat Gold 4.5. Sounds about right. Monaco Grand Prix 8.0. All right. Pen Triathlon 5.5. Sounds about right. Sega Bass Fishing 7.5. Okay. Tokyo Extreme Racer, I would have given that an 8.0, 8.5 instead of a 7 that they gave it. N64 reviews. Revolt Racing 6.0, 6.0, 6.0, 4.5. Shadow Man 9, 8, 7, 8. WWF Attitude 8, 8.5, 8.5, 8. Sounds good to me. I would agree with that for the time. Now they're bad. Those Attitude games and Warzone games. Thousand Armad. Final Fantasy 8 gets a 8, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5 for the PlayStation. More PlayStation reviews. G Police Weapons of Justice 7.75, 7.5. Legacy of Kain Soul Revere 9, 8. I would agree. Madden NFL 2000 9.5, 8.5, 8.0, 9.0. Neo Geo Pocket Color. Ad. Metal Gear Solid VR Missions 7, 8.0, 7.5, 8. NCAA 2000 8.5, 8, 7, 7.5. NCAA Game Breaker 7, 8, 7.5, 7. So I guess Yeah, I guess NCAA 2000 kind of squeaks out by a half a point over Game Day, or Game Breaker. This is the Interceptor FX. You literally sit on it and you feel vibrations, I guess, and yeah. Fall football at Funko Land. There it is. And then, of course, you got some prices. Some prices of some football games down here. 10-yard fight, which by this point was like a 15-year-old game. $2. John Elway quarterback, $1.50. Wow, this is a cool ad. Wow. NFL Game Day for the PlayStation reviews. NFL Game Day 2000, 7.5, 8.5, 6.5, 8.0. Omega Boost 999, 8.5. RC Stunt Copter 7.8, 7.57. Jammer Lammy 8.57. Championship Motocross 6. Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary 5.0. Trick and Snowboarder 4.0. WWF Attitude 8. Madden 2000. Buy.com ad. There's a review archive. There's a ad for Rayman 2 on the Dreamcast and Nintendo 64. There's some tricks of the trade. Earthworm Jim 3D. Didn't hear very good game. I never heard anything good about that game, to be honest with you. NFL Extreme 2 tricks and cheats. This trick works on a pre-production version of the game and is subject to change. New fields and large players. You can get the aircraft carrier field, Egyptian field, pool table field. Let's see, Carmageddon 2. Another ad for ebworld.com, Electronics Boutique. Tekken Tag Tournament. And here's some industry prices on trade-ins and whatnot. I would always love seeing these, but would always dream that I could win this entire lot every time I seen this ad in the Game Pros and in magazines like this. You have to fill this mystery word grid out, which was usually pretty easy, but then they'd want you to, you know, buy something and you get entered to win. I'd like to know if anybody ever actually won any of that. Dreamcast is here. Enter to win a US Dreamcast. GameCave.com. Alright guys, that wraps up. Dino Crisis is on the back cover. The Electronic Gaming Monthly issue for October 1999.